This video was brought to you by BlueStacks, which is a free Android emulator that you can use to play any Android Google Play game that is usually on your phone, instead on your computer. This will allow you to go and get better graphics and overall a much smoother time playing the games that you like on your computer instead of your mobile device. You can play Azur Lane on it, and this is what I use to go and record my videos. So if you want to give it a try, it is a free complete download, and if you are downloading it, you are supporting me too. So take a look, it's in the description. Bye. Hi, I'm Ander, or FBI Open Up on the Lexington server, and today we're going to be talking about Monarch. In this video, I will be covering Monarch's recommended XP farming fleet, as well as her gear guide. With that being said, let's jump straight into it. Now, due to the new PR1 update, your potential XP farm candidates for Monarch have been super easy now, since you can now use any main fleet instead of just using battleships or battle cruisers. So now, you can go and enable the battle monitors, who are Abercrombie, Terror, and Erebus, who are super cheap alternatives you can use to go and farm lower level stages, and now you can use them to go and farm for Monarch now. So for instance, you could use one of these as a backline, and you could farm 7 too, which might be slow, but it is going to be super cheap and oil efficient. You can also use carriers now, so any of your cool HMS carriers you can use. For instance, you could use Centaur or Formidable, and of course the other good candidates always will include someone like King George, Nelson and Rodney. Hood is always good, Unicorn is great, Horsebite, basically anyone from here. Repulse is a very cheap alternative and very good. Well, she's not very good, but she is very cheap. And the list goes on. You can use really anybody in the backline position. All of them are pretty good. Now, do keep in mind that you might want to use lower rarity ships because they do cost less oil. The PR grind is going to take a lot of oil, so using more oil efficient ships, such as the battle monitors that I listed, although they might be less strong, they are very oil efficient, so just keep that in mind when you're grinding. For maps, I would just recommend farming 7-2 for lower level or lower rarity ships. So for instance, if you wanted to use that Terror, Erebus, or Abercrombie team, you could go and have someone like, for instance, this fleet right here with just Terror and Cassin and Downs. Super cheap, only 6 oil per run if you don't limit break them. And if your HMS backline can handle it, you could use someone like these fleets right here. For instance, this fleet right here, Yeet. I've got Monarch. Well, obviously, if you're farming for Monarch, you can't have her. You could replace this with like Hood or something. And of course, Centaur and Warspite are also very good. You could go and farm 8-4, which is very nice. You could also farm places like 12-2, and of course 12-4 if you want more experience. If your HMS backline can handle it, then you can obviously do higher level stages. Now for some Monarch gear basics. As you may know by now, she is easily one of the best ships in the game, no questions asked. Her barrage is useful in any situation. It has a very high proc rate at 70%. It has a very high damage and very good spread. It is AP, so it's going to work even well on chapter 13. And it also has that additional slowing ability that is insanely useful for fighting fast bosses. Combined with her PR level stats as well as her extra reload buff and heal that she gets with her against the current skill, she is an absolute powerhouse. Now her fate simulation is not the best, it only gives her a little bit extra healing from this against the current skill. So I would still recommend maxing her with fate simulation as you would get that extra luck, but her actual ability that she gets is not that good. There's really not much to say about her. She's the go-to recommendation for anyone that needs a PR ship to farm, because she will never let you down. And here we go, onto the general gear loadout. Now onto some Monarch gear basics. Let's go and start off with the main gun. In her main gun slot, you should go and definitely equip the clock tower shell, as she now has main gun clocks instead of main gun shots. So anyway, actually getting on topic, let's go into the main gun. So she is a very barrage focused battleship with her very good barrage, so I would recommend a fast firing gun for maximum proc rate. The best in this scenario would, by no surprise, be the prototype twin 406mm, which is a complete upgrade over the common 410mm mounted gun. Now the 410mm mounted gun is going to be in second place, as it is also almost as fast. It's basically a downgrade, If you don't have the prototype Twin 406 yet, you can definitely use the 410mm and it will still be very good. You could also use the Twin 381, but do keep in mind that your main gun shots will be significantly less damage, so I would still recommend using the Twin 406mm prototype or the 410mm over the Twin 381. Now Monarch does have a good firepower stat, so you could run slower guns, like with higher damage such as the triple 406mm, although I would still recommend using the faster firing guns as listed above, because her barrage is just really good, just like Nagato. For Monarch's second slot, being the secondary gun slash auxiliary gun, she has access to light cruiser guns, so make sure you are using them over a destroyer gun. The best in slot would be right here, the prototype triple 152mm main gun. It's got a very short reload, and it also shoots AP ammo, which travels faster than HE ammo, allowing you to deal with those suicide boats a lot faster and a lot more consistently. This is going to be your best option. Now some other good options will include the HE triple 155 right here, as well as the HE prototype triple 152mm. They are both HE, so the ammo will travel a bit slower, meaning that sometimes the suicide boats will be able to slip past, and that's also because they have a slightly slower reload than the triple 152 AP gun, but they are also very solid options if you don't have this triple 152. Now, if you don't have any of these gold guns, the budget-friendly alternatives are always going to be the Twin 150mm. It's got great accuracy, and it's just overall very good. You can also use the Twin 152mm. It performs roughly the same as the other ones, so you can always use any of those. For battleships, and especially since Monarch doesn't have the best anti-air at only 230 at max level, you would want instead something that would give them extra accuracy. The best anti-air guns for this would of course be the Twin 40mm Bofors Stag, that gives an extra 10 accuracy, or if you don't have that you could always use the Bofors Haselmeier, that gives 5 accuracy. If you don't have any of those, you could just really use any of these gold guns. I would always recommend the gold Roomba right here, because the gold Roomba is amazing and you can never go wrong with it. If you have none of those options, purple alternatives include the 127mm mounted gun, and of course the purple Roomba. For Monarch's Aux Gears, it's just really the standard battleship stuff, being the white shell, SG radars, anything of that nature. You could also use the black shell, or the high standard fire control radar if you have it. So the black shell right here. And as a note, since last time you guys pointed that out, you can actually get the high standard fire control radar from PR3. So if you keep doing those PR3 researches, you can actually get these blueprints for this, which is very good. So this is why you should be doing PR3 stuff right now. You could also use other stuff, including the much more easier to obtain fire control radar right here, as well as the poor man's white shell. Now getting into it, let's move on to the battle showcase. For this, I'm going to pick a stage with the bosses that are moving very fast, so I'll try and do 9-4 on hard mode. So let's get started. And here's my team right here. I've got Monarch, Warspite Retro, Centaur, St. Louis PR or Sanrui, and of course Tashkent and Shapayev. Shapayev is there, just like Aurora, because she reduces the evasion of destroyers, so this will make killing the bosses just a little bit easier, since they will hopefully not be able to dodge any of my battleship salvos, because usually they do. So let's get started with the battle showcase. Just keep in mind that Monarch's barrage is going to be able to slow them, and that's going to help tremendously in this fight. With that being said, Centaur can also do that too, so this should probably be pretty easy then. So, of course, Tashkent, Shapayev, and Sanrui, and there's Monarch's barrage. Warspite's also proccing her salvo, and right there, you just saw that Monarch's barrage has disintegrated everything. So here's Nizuki, the boss, and she is slowed down right now. That'll go and let Warspite hopefully hit her, even though she just completely missed her Divine Marksman. And blah blah blah. Here's Monarch's second shot. This time she does not proc her barrage, sadly, but most of the time it does proc, and it does very good damage. So Centaur procced, and Warspite does too. Centaur will be able to slow down Nizuki, hopefully, if she runs. And Nizuki somehow managed to dodge all of Centaur's slowing torpedoes. But Monarch will proc one more time with her barrage, and yeah, there you go, battle over. That's the first run of this, and I'll just do 2 more after this. There you go, we've got Monarch as the MVP, and on to the next one. Now we've got the second battle underway right now, and it's the same exact stage. We're just going to redo it because you get 3 hard mode attempts. And if you were wondering why I could just skip directly to the boss node, that's because I have clearing mode on, which you will get by making it on safe mode and 3-starring that map. For hard mode, it will make you just go directly to the boss fleet, and this is exactly why I can just instantly teleport to the boss node without fighting any of the mob fleets. So here we go, hello Nizuki, one more time, and let's just watch. So right now it looks like the battleship salvo is about to proc, Monarch's about to go and hit him with a big one. I lied, Monarch actually did not proc. So most of the time, I mean 70% is pretty high, but not high enough I guess. Divine Marksman procs right there, and looks like Centaur's going to actually hit Nizuki with her slowing torpedoes this time. But the thing is, no one can really do anything right now because they're all waiting for their battleship salvo. Monarch will hit him with another proc, and right now Nizuki has stealthily kind of dodged that, but nonetheless Nizuki is dead. And that's battle number 2. This time I don't think Monarch got MVP, but I could be wrong. And it is actually Tashkent that stole MVP this time, and she has completely annihilated everything. Now we've got the final 9-4 hard mode attempt underway right now. Let's see if Monarch can actually get MVP again this time and proc her salvo. And of course, if you haven't known already, Tashkent and Shapayev, the Russians are all very good. Here's the first Monarch barrage, and of course Warspite just completely missed it, but as you saw, Haruna and I'm guessing the Congo right there spawned in and instantly died the second after because Monarch's barrage instantly disintegrated them. Now Nizuki's just going to keep on moving in a circle over and over again, and hopefully we'll be able to go and hit her this time. Monarch procs, and this time she gets her second barrage, boom! And of course the AP is not going to do that much damage to a destroyer like Nizuki, but that slow is always going to be very useful. As you can see, most of the stuff can actually hit her now because she is slowed down. For instance, those torpedoes that just launched. Now Nizuki is almost dead right here. Monarch will probably finish things off with just one more, and she actually procced her barrage this time, but her main gun salvo will be able to go and finish it without her barrage even landing. Should be a Monarch MVP again right here, and there she is. With a very nice 61,000 damage, she says that you should depend on her. She always wins. With that battle showcase finished, that will conclude my gear guide for Monarch. As always, if you found this information helpful, consider dropping a like and subscribing. Don't forget to press that notification bell for my future uploads as well. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions that need to be answered, and I'll try my best to reply. If you're interested, you can always join my Discord server if you need any advice or just want a place to relax. And that will be all for this video. I hope you'll have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!